Heyo guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Law and Order Legacies, episode 2, Home to Roost. In the last episode, we inspected the Huang's shop. I can't remember the name of it. And we found some suspicious activity going on in there. If you guys haven't watched the last episode, you should probably do that right now. I'll wait. Have you watched it? Awesome possum. All right, now we can get back into it here. So let's see what's going to happen next. Now that we have been denied a further investigation.
This guy's hiding something.
And you're basing that on...
He's wearing a Rolex. The victim's wife told us he was missing a Rolex.
That's right.
One
She did
he
say
never
that.
took off.
So wearing a Rolex is now illegal.
That's not what we're
He
saying,
refused
Abby,
to
but
let
we
us check
get
out
it.
the back room in his meat market.
Which is
Jensen had avian blood on him. That room's the best spot in the neighborhood to find dead birds.
because we
There's something
realized
back
that
there
he
doesn't want us
supposedly
to
turned
see.
it in to this place.
Spare me. As it stands right now, there isn't enough evidence to suggest probable cause.
Dang
Give me
it.
reason to
All
believe
right.
that there was something worse than slaughter going on in that room, or you don't get a warrant. And no arrest unless you've got something physical to tie this guy to the
Yeah, we
victim.
can't badger him.
Nina Haversham, 32, junior partner at McCormick Compressed. Wait a minute. Nina Haversham? She was one of the suspects in the preppy jogger case.
So?
So that's
Van
coming
Buren
back.
took us off that one.
Yeah, but remember that little speech he gave back in February? All detectives are encouraged to ask about crimes they're not currently investigating. It's all about spreading the widest possible net.
Interesting.
Well, the case may be closed for now, but the net's still open.
Hey, well, happy fishing, partner.
Hey, you know that meat market sells cow skulls?
Now, I know that definitely isn't on your diet. Look what it says in the logs. 3 weeks ago Tuesday, we got a late-night complaint about noise coming from the meat market.
How late at night?
Interesting.
1:45 a.m. Then, 2 weeks ago, also on Tuesday, the
Oh.
same noise complaint.
Let me guess. Same thing happened last Tuesday.
About 15 minutes before Neil Jensen was wounded. What do you think?
I think we've got our warrant.
Yeah, I would agree.
All right, then. But at least let me watch.
Is
I'm
he into
sorry,
that kind of thing?
it's against policy.
Okay, well, we found our bird blood. I'm still not sure what else we're looking for.
Okay.
Anything that'll tell us what was going on after hours Tuesday night and whether Neil Jensen was in on it.
Okay. Well, remember, circle objects to select and grab them. Click on the arrows to navigate around the scene. Select the magnifying glass, consult your search screen, and contain hints on what you need to find. Okay. Possible murder weapons, evidence of gambling debts, source of avian blood, curved blade, bloody blanket, possible murder weapon. Okay, that's interesting. All right, so that table this table right here looks very interesting right away. Okay. Can I move towards it? No, I'm just gonna move like this. All right. Well, I want to look at that notebook.
Now we're cooking.
Awesome.
What's that?
A ledger. And I got a feeling these ain't sales of ground round in here. They look like bets.
Looks like NJ owes a bundle to EH.
E.H. Edward Huang.
Huh. Yep. NJ would be Neil Jensen. Okay, what else? Is it the murder weapon? But let's see here. I mean, there's this, but I don't know if it's wait a second. What's this down here? What are this?
That's a hell of a lot of blood.
Sure is.
Could have come from a pig or something, I guess, but why would you wrap a pig in a
Haha,
blanket?
pig in a
I
blanket.
mean, a real pig in a real blanket.
Let's take it back to forensics.
Yep, gotta see what's on it. Sweet. I almost missed that. It legitimately wasn't. Okay. Let's see. Let's see here. That's a lot of knives. And a hacksaw. Oh, well, did it say how many we? Oh, wait. This is open for some reason. Let's look in here. No? Oh, okay. Well, I wasted one. That's awkward. What about this? I guess that wasn't a valid circle.
This
There
could
we
do
go.
a guy in.
Sure, but not our guy.
Okay. Maybe it's this one? Oh, okay, there you go.
You want to search the garbage?
Hey, nothing I like better than digging through a mound of chicken heads and feathers.
Yeah, I'm sure, bro. Oh, dead rooster.
Huh.
What'd you find?
It's the carcass of a whole rooster. It's a big one, too. Why do you suppose they just throw it away?
Maybe it died of diphtheria.
Haha.
Nah, it's all cut up.
Yeah, cockfighting probably. Okay, let's back out of that. Nothing else in the trash can. This is sitting here, so why not?
Think this could be our murder weapon?
I don't think so.
Okay. Now maybe we should go back to these knives. This knife might be something. Let's see here. This knife's got blood on it, though. So let's go with that one.
Van Buren said it was a short, curved blade.
I don't know if that's short, but what the hey. Let's see. I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, I can't go back that way. This looks like it could. No, it doesn't really. I bet someone's yelling at me right now, going, "It's right here, idiot!" But I don't see any. There's got to be something else, obviously. Otherwise, it would have told us we would have been able to progress. But it just kind of stands out. I want to see what this is. Oh, what are this? What are this?
Hey, look at this.
A short, curved blade.
Yeah,
What do you want to bet
cockfighting.
it's a match for the murder weapon? Wonder what it is.
Doesn't seem like anything a butcher
You put
could
it.
use.
You put it on the legs of a rooster.
Wait. Let me see that blade again.
Why are they handling it without any gloves on?
I know what this is. It's a gaff. They attach these to the claws of... Hey, Mr. Huang! I think you've got some explaining to do.
You got some
Wait, I
explaining
got
to
a lot of
do.
customers right now.
We can talk out there if you'd rather. I'm sure they'll be interested to hear about how you're running a cockfighting ring.
Ah, cockfighting, of course. Is that kosher?
Whoop.
What do you think, Ray? We got enough to arrest this guy?
Yeah, I say we cuff him for the murder of Neil Jensen.
Murder? Now, wait a minute, detectives. Hold everything.
He was talking about murder so
All
freely
hands
earlier.
together. Jensen owed a gambling debt to Mr. Huang.
Look at it.
When
Look
Jensen
at his
can't pay
face.
up, Huang starts eyeing his Rolex. Neil, thanks for 10 wonderful years. Ellie,
You gotta believe me. I didn't kill him.
then who did?
Ricardo Guzman, I think.
Where can we find him?
He doesn't have a fixed address. Moves around from couch to couch.
Great.
Take this guy in.
Yep.
Wait, I got his cell number.
What luck. I'm glad you know how to follow instructions, Mr. Huang, because we've got a little job for you.
This guy is such a goon. All right, we got 2 bonus. Awesome. Let's keep moving.
Okay, Huang, you remember what we told you, and this ought to go down quick and painless.
He's gonna kill me, you know, when he finds out I'm working with the police.
By that time, he'll be in custody.
Yeah.
That is, as long as you play it cool and take your cues from us.
Right.
Yeah?
Ricardo, it's Wang.
Hey, what's the matter, man? You sound funny.
Well, I feel like I'm gonna say the cops questioned us and left because I feel like the cops are still here gets us in trouble. And saying everything is peachy, I don't know about that. He doesn't sound like the kind of guy that would say everything is peachy.
Cops had me worked up, but they're gone.
The cops, they worked me over pretty hard.
But you didn't say nothing.
No, I held firm. They're gone now.
Ooh, okay, good.
They find anything?
I don't want to be nervous because that sets him off. This is pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Not enough to arrest you.
Enough to make them suspicious, but not enough to get you in trouble, I think.
Okay, good. Whew.
So what am I supposed to do, man? We got another fight coming Tuesday. You know I can't cancel it. I'm on the hook to Menendez. $5,000, man, and I'm broke.
Oh, snap. Being nervous is a bad idea. That's super obvious. Being overconfident, I feel like that's not a good idea either. I guess just go with the least, like the I can't speak. I'll go with this one
Hold the fight in a new location.
because we want to
I'll
catch
fight
him.
at the shop. Too risky. You gotta find a new location.
Where, man?
I think they would
I don't
hear
know
him.
nobody with that kind of space.
Tell them you do.
I do. My cousin Lou runs a body shop in Park Slope. Let me talk to him.
Whoa, he came up with that easy.
You're a pal, man.
Now tell him you'll meet him later.
Let's meet up later once everything's squared away.
Where?
Okay. Push him to tell where he is. That's gonna make him suspicious. I mean, that's super obvious. To meet at the shop, we just said that the shop is too risky, so that seems like a bad idea. So I'm gonna go with suggested neutral location. Hey! Awesome.
Somewhere by Pulaski Bridge, 6 p.m.
That street corner. Over by the bodega and the pharmacy. On 21st by Pulaski Bridge. Around 6?
See, sounds like a plan. See you there.
You done good, Mr. Wang.
Whew.
We'll take it from here.
Awesome. Okay, let's keep going.
Wang, over here. Sorry, Wang is indisposed at the moment.
Don't run,
Ricardo
fool.
Guzman, you are under arrest for the murder of Neil Jensen. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Miranda rights, sucker.
Mr. Guzman doesn't dispute the cockfighting charges. We're prepared to plead guilty on that one.
Oh.
Está insultando la República Dominica.
Let me. My client is not a murderer, Mr. McCoy. Mr. Jensen died as a result of an accident.
Oh, yeah?
An accident.
He attempted to handle an armed bird, and he lost control of it.
Really?
Yeah, likely story.
Unbelievable. A man gets carved up like a side of beef. Guzman lets him slowly bleed to death, then dumps him on a doorstep and expects to walk away.
I checked with the Dominican consulate.
Mm-hmm.
And
He's wanted there for drug running and armed robbery.
So he's a
I
real
want him
winner.
here for murder.
Is it possible it really was an accident?
Does it matter? Neil Jensen didn't have to die. Guzman had 2 hours to get help and he callously stood by. Murder 2. Depraved indifference.
Okay, so we're in the courts now. I guess it's a trial by jury. The defense must be desperate. They're putting Guzman on the stand. Harlan Fitzpatrick is a good defense lawyer. He will try to make Guzman appear sympathetic using a number of rhetorical tricks. Whew. Excuse me, sorry. Your job is to object when he gets out of line. Leading is when a defense attorney puts words in the defendant's mouth to help make his case. You can also tell a leading statement because it ends with a question like, am I right or don't you mean? Okay. Asked and answered is when the lawyer gets his client to repeat an answer for dramatic effect. Listen closely for repetition of things you've heard before.
Mr. Guzman,
Okay.
when did you first meet Neil Jensen?
Maybe a year ago, I guess.
Who initiated the relationship? You or him?
He did. I didn't want to have no part of him, man. Not at first. What I do, I gotta be careful who I let in. can bring trouble.
That
you know?
tie, though.
Especially a white guy.
Racist.
Mr. Jensen came to you with an offer, is that right?
Yeah, he had a bird, and he wanted me to help him raise it and fight it.
And at first you said no?
That's right.
Hold on a second. Yes, because we repeated it, asked and answered.
Objection. Asked and answered.
Sustained. Strike that. What convinced you to take
Nice.
Neil Jensen under your wing, as it were, in spite of your suspicions?
He knew cockfighting ain't how they make it out to be, you know?
It's a more civilized practice than people realize, you mean?
Yes. Leading him.
Objection. Leading.
Sustained. Strike that.
I
What
missed
sort
the old
of
judge. Or the other
sentiments
judge.
did Mr. Jensen express to you?
Both of these
Well,
judges are old,
like-
but you know.
Cocking's a real sport. It takes dedication and discipline. And you know, it can teach you a lot about life if you let it.
So you agreed to keep the bird and help him raise it?
Okay.
See, together we raised El Jefe, and together we conditioned him to fight. He was a good bird.
Here's another trick. Speculation is when a witness is allowed to theorize or imagine a scenario and present it as evidence. Defense may encourage this to make Neil Jensen look bad.
Why don't you tell us, in your own words, what happened on the night of Tuesday, May 5th?
Well, Neil come in that night really keyed up, man, like
Mhm.
super keyed up. He was jumping all around. I think maybe he was on something.
Yeah, speculation, because
Objection. Speculation.
you don't know.
Sustained. Strike that from the record. Watch yourself, Mr. Guzman. Please confine your description to actual events. Go on.
Well, he was excited, you know, because El Jefe was finally gonna fight. There were some other birds at first, but he couldn't sit and watch, man, pacing around till his turn finally came. Okay, I tell him, I'm the handler. I'm experienced at this stuff. Let me do it.
Get the bird into the ring.
The pit, yeah. It could be dangerous, you know, especially with the long heel.
A long blade attached to the rooster's spur.
Yeah.
Right, but Neil wouldn't hear nothing I was saying, man. Being he was a rider, he had to do everything himself. Well, anyway, he's yelling about how he had to be the one to handle El Jefe. I told him don't. I ordered him even, but he really got in my face about it, man, so I had to back down.
Yeah, I
Then
doubt
he went
that.
for the rooster, like he was going for a football or something. Grabbed it around the neck. You understand, this is a bird was being conditioned to fight. The bird goes crazy.
It attacked Neil Jensen. Naturally, you were horrified.
That's subject. Religious belief, not proof of character. No, it's not meaninglessly in the jury's leading.
Objection. Leading.
Sustained. How did you feel?
Horrified, naturally.
As we approach the part of the testimony where Guzman will describe Neil's wounds, be on the lookout for statements that will require medical training to back up. This can be objected on the grounds of no expert knowledge.
I made a
Nice.
grab for the bird and got it.
Putting yourself in considerable danger in the process, I imagine.
Yeah, that's leading again.
Objection. Leading. Counsel is putting words in the witness's mouth.
Withdrawn.
But by the time I got the rooster under control, the damage was done.
I see.
Hmm.
So what then? What did you do for him?
I wrapped a blanket around him to try stop the bleeding, you know.
Did you think to take him to the hospital?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do, but he told me not to. He wanted me to take him home.
Mr. Jensen asked you to take him home.
I don't know about all that.
His wounds, I mean, he was cut up pretty bad, but not so bad as all that. He should have pulled through, no problem.
Yeah, thank you for letting me know about the whole medical, no expert knowledge, because there you go.
Objection. No expert knowledge. Considering the outcome, I think we can conclude that Mr. Guzman's assessment of the situation is off.
Sustained. Facts only, Mr. Guzman.
Yep, sucker.
You swore on the Bible you'd tell the truth, Mr. Guzman.
I'm telling the truth. I panicked maybe. You would have done the same. But I did what Neil asked me to do. What I thought would save his life.
Yeah, okay.
Your witness, Mr. McCoy.
Somewhere ahead. Let's keep moving.
Mr. Guzman.
We're ready to cross-examine, focusing on inconsistencies in the evidence and its callous disregard for Jensen. Stay away from tricky issues like his past life or the cultural bias against cockfighting. Okay, let's start with the time of the incident. It's up top.
The incident in question occurred on the night of May 5th. That's right. Maybe 1:45. 1:45.
Okay.
And you say you acted to save him? Of course I acted. I tried to help him right there, and when I couldn't help him, I took him home, like he asked me to.
No, it's not, because if I recall correctly, that's not the same time. Yep. He doesn't have a bias. Well, he may, but we want to stay away from that. That's not true. And that's also not true, so let's go with this one. I don't remember exactly the time, but...
But there's a problem here. The 911 call is timestamped 4:03. 2 hours after the incident, Mr. Guzman.
Oh, snap.
Under the circumstances, it's fair to ask, couldn't your response have been a little more prompt? Hijos de puta mentirosos. I'm sorry, Mr. Guzman. It's a mistake. Someone's not telling the truth. Are you suggesting 911 got the time wrong?
It's you, dude.
Or somebody?
Let's talk about... Let's not go into his criminal background, because I said to stay away from that, and same with the barbaric sport. So let's not go with these, because that seems like a red herring, like a trap. So let's go with this one.
You knew it was dangerous for Neil Jensen to handle his own rooster. Sure, it was dangerous. When those birds are ready to fight, man, they're ready to fight. Then why didn't you stop him? I tried, man, but like I said, he wouldn't take no for an answer.
It doesn't contradict his earlier testimony. Because he said he tried to stop him earlier. Misspelled. Testified he kind of... It was me, Neil. It was me all along. No, that's not true. Neil can't testify he's dead. Guzman testified that he tried to stop Neil. Yeah. Okay, so we got a new topic. Let's talk about relationship with
Mr.
Jensen.
Guzman, you took Mr. Jensen into your confidence, initiated him into your illegal activities.
Whoop.
Knowing your new disciple was a writer, didn't you worry that he'd give the game away?
Is that a bad idea?
Expose
Did I
your
choose the
ring,
wrong one?
and force you to shut down operations? Well, sure I was worried, but he promised me he'd keep quiet. And he wouldn't write anything neither, unless I okayed it first. And you trusted him. Yeah, he respected me, man.
Yeah, I think he did. Obviously, because he's dead. He tried to take control. He didn't threaten that. He tried to take control of the cockfight. This is not true, as far as we know. And this is also not true, so let's go with this one. So that's what he said. He said that he grabbed the bird.
Well, it doesn't seem like he respected you very much on the night he died.
Right.
I mean, he defied you. He disobeyed your orders to stay away from the rooster.
Sure did.
Yeah, I guess that's right.
Yeah, nodding
Let's
juror.
get back to those final moments, shall we? Maybe this time we can get the facts straight. You drove Neil Jensen home, like he asked me to, and you dropped him off at the door. What time was that? 4 o'clock? More like 2. Did you stay with him till he was safely inside? No. No. You dumped him there and took off. Why, Mr. Guzman? I heard a baby crying as I was coming up the walk with Neil, and I saw a light turn on, so I knew she was up. I was sure she was going to come down and get Neil. Yes, but I didn't want to have to be there and explain it all to her, you know? No, I expect you didn't. No further questions.
Okay. Awesome possum. All right, I'm feeling good, so let's keep going. So now's the time to put Elle on the stand and let her talk about her husband Neil and the horrible events of May 5th. No reason to ask tough questions, just have her recount her experience, generate some sympathy, but try to avoid any mentions of Neil's shady nightlife or speculation about his
Want to
death.
take this one, Abby?
Okay.
The people call Ellie Jensen to the witness stand.
She got there quick. Okay, so let's talk about the night of the murder, because we don't want to talk about this. And they said speculation. So, yeah, these two are traps. So let's go with this one.
Mrs. Jensen, tell us how you discovered your husband on the night in question. Well, I heard a sort of a thunk coming from outside the front door. Did it wake you up? No, it wasn't loud enough for that, but
Okay.
luckily I was awake.
Oh, man.
Noah, my baby, had just waked me for his usual feeding. That at least conforms to Mr. Guzman's testimony. What condition was your husband in when you found him? It was horrible. He was covered in blood and
Oh, man.
he had this look in his eyes like he knew he was dying. I kept saying, "Who did this to you? Who did this to you?" But all he could do was move his mouth. I think he was saying, "I'm sorry." And there was nobody with him? Nobody. He was all alone.
Oh, man.
Now this is crucial. Mrs. Jensen, what time did you discover your husband? Just before 4 a.m. You're absolutely sure? Yes.
She kind of
I
sobered
glanced
up
at
quick,
the clock
though.
when my baby cried at 5 minutes, too. He always wakes up at the same time. Thank you, Mrs. Jensen.
Oh, all right then. That was easy.
So you finally come around, eh, Harlan?
If that's the way you want to look at it, Jack.
Great. What are you looking for?
No jail time. Mr. Guzman pays a fine and does 12 months probation. Actually, a rooster killed a man.
He sat idly by for 2 hours and let an innocent man bleed to death.
Probation? No way. Make your counter offer. The charge of murder applies if you feel Guzman did in a premeditated and calculating fashion when he let Jensen bleed to death. A charge of manslaughter applies if you feel Guzman acted recklessly and therefore caused Jensen to die, but didn't directly plan on that outcome. I'm not even going to try and split this one. I'm just going to say no deal because this dude needs to know.
So he can go right back to running cockfights? No deal, Mr. Fitzpatrick.
Thank you.
Ricardo Guzman will never win any good citizenship awards. He's a devotee of cockfighting, a sport which no doubt many of you here in the jury consider barbaric and inhumane.
Because it
But
is.
it's important to appreciate that the
Boop,
defendant is the product of another culture. We mustn't let cultural differences blind us to his essential humanity.
Fair, I guess.
Consider
but-
Mr. Guzman's relationship with the deceased. He agreed to act as Mr. Jensen's mentor, not for money, but through mutual love of the sport. For many months, he patiently worked with him.
Do we know
and
if he
trained
got
with
paid
him.
or not?
He became Mr. Jensen's mentor and his friend. And when the accident occurred, Mr. Guzman reacted as a friend would react, with care and concern.
Except for the whole
Perhaps
2 hours
he made
of bleeding
the
to
wrong
death.
decision in taking the injured man home. Perhaps you or I would have gone straight to the hospital. But remember, Mr. Guzman is an immigrant, an outsider, with an outsider's suspicion of
This
big
music in the
institutions.
background, though.
My client has lost a friend, perhaps as the result of his own mistake, and for that, he will suffer for the rest of his life. But does he deserve to go to jail? Good people of the jury, I beg you, let's not compound one error with another.
All right. Your turn for closing arguments. Sway the jury with the facts and stay away from topics that might inflame cultural sensitivities. Okay, well, let's focus on not this one, because that's not going to help us. We want to focus on the fact that he's supposedly this guy's friend, but he let him bleed to death for 2 hours.
2 hours. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
2 hours between the time Neil Jensen was stabbed repeatedly, and the time the
Sure,
accused
though.
saw fit to do something about it. 2 hours of agony of Mr. Jensen
Man, I can't
bleeding, losing strength, crying
wow.
for help, for mercy. But there was no mercy. Not from Ricardo Guzman.
Sure. And let's talk about his motive. Because you don't want
The
to talk about.
accused knew Neil Jensen well enough to understand the limits of their trust. If the victim had survived the attack, there would have been questions. The
Yeah,
story
good point.
would have come out. Guzman's illegal operation would have been exposed. He would have faced prosecution or loss of livelihood at the very least. He had a lot to lose and a lot to gain by doing nothing. The legal community has a phrase for this behavior: depraved indifference. None of us was in the slaughterhouse with Ricardo Guzman and Neil Jensen. None of us knows exactly what was going on through the mind of the accused as he watched his cohort writhe on the floor. We may never know exactly why he stood and waited. But we aren't being asked to judge Mr. Guzman's motivations. We're being asked to judge his acts, or in this case, his failure to act. And in this case, I think you'll agree. Inaction speaks louder than words.
Has the jury come to a verdict?
We have, Your Honor.
Okay.
In the charge of murder in the second degree, how do you find?
We find the defendant, Ricardo Guzman, guilty.
Got him. Yay!
Thank you, Mr. McCoy. He got what he deserved.
Not much comfort to you, I'm sure.
It won't bring Neil back, but it gives me some closure. Will you be okay? I think he'll see to it. Right on schedule, as always.
All right. Cool. We did it. Wait.
Know anyone who needs a nanny?
Mrs. Jensen let you go, huh?
That figures. I'm just one more thing that reminds her of Neil. And God knows she got rid of all his other stuff.
Wait, what?
His photo albums, his collections of rare books.
Well, different people grieve in different ways.
Yeah, I think she'll be doing her grieving in Aruba. She bought tickets yesterday.
You don't suppose.
Wait.
You got a suspicious mind, Curtis. Up for a little field trip tonight?
What? What? That's a loud baby.
5 minutes to 2.
Right on schedule.
You think that means...
Oh, snap! The time was wrong.
She couldn't bring herself to get rid of the rooster in the chicken coop, but the rooster in the house is a different story.
Oh, snap! She said the
not sure I
baby woke up
understand.
She went up on the witness stand and told the court that she found her husband at 4 a.m.
But she told us that her baby wakes up at the same times every day, and we heard the baby wake up at 2.
So, isn't it possible that the baby could have also woken her up at 4 a.m.? We're talking about a baby here.
You don't have any proof that Ellie Jensen is lying.
Which is why we need a warrant to search her brownstone.
And just what are you hoping to find?
Mrs.
I feel
Jensen mentioned that she installed
crappy
a nanny
now.
cam in her nursery. Those things have timestamps on them.
Oh,
She might be lying or not, but the nanny cam always tells the truth.
Fine, I'll give you a warrant to confiscate the nanny cam, but only that.
okay. Man, I feel crappy now.
Neil? That you?
2 a.m., Mrs. Jensen.
You
Care to tell us why you waited
lying?
so long to call 911?
I wasn't thinking straight.
No.
Clearly.
I was just so mad. He promised me he was going to stop running around like a damn teenager, wasting our money and risking his stupid neck, all for the sake of his stories. He was going to calm down and be normal, a decent husband and father. He swore. I didn't want him to die. I just wanted to teach him a lesson.
That's not how you teach a
I think
dude a
you're right.
lesson. Oh. Man.
Jury just came back in the Jensen case.
And?
Guilty. Man 2, 10 to 20.
Looks like PS 84 is going to have to find themselves a new principal.
Oh,
Good
snap.
work, gentlemen.
How about we grab
I
lunch?
feel a little bad about
Still
putting that
on
other
that
dude
diet?
in jail
No,
now.
ditch
But
the health food and Julia.
Right on schedule.
And I feel great.
Any preferences?
Nope, I'm up for anything except chicken. For some reason, that doesn't appeal to me today.
wow. All right, well, there you go. That is the end of episode 2, Home to Roost. We wrapped that one up in a shorter time frame than we did episode 1. That was an interesting twist at the end. I really thought that the Guzman dude had, like, it was a little weak, but I thought he had something to do with it. But, wow. All right, cool. Well, I won't have you guys sit through the credits this time. Thank you so much for watching. I really, truly appreciate it. If you guys like the episode and the series, please give it a big, fat stamp of approval on the like button there. And subscribe and share if you feel so inclined. And as always, I will see you guys right here on this channel for the next one. Peace